See, very simple. Good speaker means a person who is able to deliver his thought nicely to the other person, and the other one is easily able to understand them. For me, that nice or good speaker is that, because many times I have noticed. Okay, let's take an example of teachers. There are so many English teachers there, even in the YouTube or in reality, but every person has a different way to teach English to students. Now, if we will compare all of them, we don't like all of them, just not because that they don't know English, but because the way they teach or the way they communicate, that is not that easy, which is able to understand by everyone. So like say similarly, when we used to study in the school, we did have a favorite teacher. We all have a favorite teacher. Why? Because the explanation, the uh, way of explaining the things is different. So the if you talk about being a good speaker, I think only one quality which is required, that you are able to present yourself so nicely, effortlessly, and the person is also able to understand you effortlessly. But if you ask me to be a good teacher, or my like the person a good speaker in terms of English teacher, if I say that, so I think teacher need to learn a lot of things before he or she is into the teaching field. So many things. But as you asked me about the good speaker, so I have already cleared that. Very good afternoon, Shiv. How are you doing?
Very good afternoon, ma'am. I'm fit as a fiddle and doing pretty well in my life. Thank you for your concern. How about your side? How life is treating you these days?
Life is not treating me that well, but somehow it's going okay, okay. And yeah, because summer vacation is just around the corner. Like after a few days, it will going to be a holidays for my children. So it will be very difficult for me to shoot videos and do my work like as I was doing for a long time. So yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I have said earlier, that life is all about to move on and facing challenges every single day. All you have to do, consider yourself as a warrior, a soldier who is always ready to fight and ensure your win at the end of the day. And I know you have those attributes and traits inside you which always differentiate you from a very common person. You are doing well.
Oh, thank you that you have observed such things about me. That's great.
Yeah. And out of the box today, I didn't have anything special to talk about, but one question suddenly came to my mind, and I want to get your views on it. Though the question is very normal and common as well, but again, you know what I feel, that every single person has his own way of thinking, way of perceiving things. So that made me to ask this question to you. So shall I proceed with that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I hope you also teach and you are an advocate, all right? So I want to ask this question to you. Like you have experience, a lot of people say to you that, "Ma'am, I want to become a good speaker like you. I want to become a very fluent speaker. I want to become an advanced speaker. I want to become proficient." My question is like, what do you understand by a good speaker? What are the attributes or qualities one has to develop in his personality so that, or in his spoken English or communication, that people consider him as a good speaker? What do you think?
See, very simple. Good speaker means a person who is able to deliver his thought nicely to the other person, and the other one is easily able to understand them. For me, that nice or good speaker is that, because many times I have noticed. Okay, let's take an example of teachers. There are so many English teachers there, even in the YouTube or in reality, but every person has a different way to teach English to students. Now, if we will compare all of them, we don't like all of them, just not because that they don't know English, but because the way they teach or the way they communicate, that is not that easy, which is able to understand by everyone. So like say similarly, when we used to study in the school, we did have a favorite teacher. We all have a favorite teacher. Why? Because the explanation, the uh, way of explaining the things is different. So the if you talk about being a good speaker, I think only one quality which is required, that you are able to present yourself so nicely, effortlessly, and the person is also able to understand you effortlessly. But if you ask me to be a good teacher, or my like the person a good speaker in terms of English teacher, if I say that, so I think teacher need to learn a lot of things before he or she is into the teaching field. So many things, but as you asked me about the good speaker, so I have already cleared that.
I don't know, but today only my thoughts are entirely different from yours. Sorry for this
Okay.
controversy, but I don't know why I feel that there is no benchmark and no specific criteria for a good speaker. You know why? Uh, let's suppose you just connect with, okay, let me tell you the whole chain. That's what I feel personally. If a very beginner will talk to a beginner, he would say the beginner is a good speaker, right? A beginner, when talk to an intermediate speaker, he would consider that intermediate speaker as a good speaker. Again, that intermediate speaker will talk to an advanced speaker, he would say he is a good speaker. And when an advanced speaker himself will talk to a native speaker, he would say, wow, he is a really good speaker. So it's just like cheating. I would say we cannot even set some basic criteria or measurement for anyone that he or she is a good speaker. Another example, you speak so well, you have a very simplicity in your voice, the way you manifest your ideas, and every single stuff. That's why people love you, all right? At the same time, there are some other people, they have their YouTube channel. Some of them are English trainer as well. But when they speak, they have abundant knowledge. The articulation is up to the mark. The accent, the way they use their vocabulary, everything is phenomenal. But again, people don't love them. Why? Because it depends on your listener, or it depends on your audience, what exactly they are seeking for. Different types of audience, like some people are love simplicity. They want to get simplicity for them so that they can comprehend whatever the speaker is speaking. At the same time, there are some people, they love accent, vocabulary, advanced structure of sentences, and something like that. So again, we cannot even set any basic criteria for them as well, like to whom they consider as a good speaker. But out of all these facts, I would say when it comes to me, as far as my observation concerned, I feel a good speaker is one who speak that particular language as he speaks his own first language, smoothly, comfortably, with full confidence. Don't pressurize himself to think much in order to recall vocabulary, on checking their grammar mistake, in such a way that he is not making mistake and not stopping stuttering while delivering his ideas. And people are really more than comfortable to comprehend him what exactly he is speaking. So this is what I can say in short. What do you think about it?
So first of all, like you saying two things. At first, you said that there's no criteria of a person like who speaks good English. Every person is good speaker in their own way. As you have mentioned that if a beginner is speaking to an intermediate level, you will say to a beginner, you will say beginner is speaking good English. I would clearly deny this fact, because if a beginner is speaking to a beginner and making a lot of mistakes, and he's speaking in such a way that I'm not able to understand him, why would I consider him to be a good speaker? I wouldn't say that he's a good speaker until he is able to express his thought nicely to the other person. Secondly, you said that if a beginner speak to intermediate, you will consider intermediate is a good speaker. Sure, I would consider, because intermediate level person might use good number of vocabularies, but it's not necessary that I will say that beginner is not speaking good. Maybe beginner is using basic language, but might be better to explain the things in a easy or appropriate manner, and people relate with him, because people actually like simple things. They don't want to indulge themselves in difficulties. First of all, the basic motive, if a person wants to learn English, he's a beginner, his first important intention is to learn basic English, so that he can express his thoughts, and he will be understand others as well. This is the basic thought which comes to every beginner's mind. So it's not necessary that if advanced speaker or intermediate speaker both are speaking, and I would say that advanced is a better. No, even sometimes advanced speaker use that kind of vocabularies which is not even able to understand by the normal people or the normal audience. In that case, people would love to listen to the intermediate speaker. So as you have mentioned in the next point, that it depends on audience, that might be true, because there are people who would love to listen simple language, but there are also people who want to master this language for some specific purpose. They might have some specific purpose. They want to be a teacher of in this English field, maybe they want to become professor, they want to become an advocate. For that reason they might like complicated things, but in general, if you want to learn English for day to day conversation, nobody likes to indulge themselves in the complicated things. Everyone wants to make the language very simple. And I have seen people, for example, let's take an example of Alina Reis. She is the famous YouTuber. She has more like millions of subscribers she has on YouTube. Have you ever watched her videos? How simple she speaks. Nowadays, when she get this millions of subscribers, now she raised a little bit of her standard of speaking. But if you will watch her beginner like videos 2 years ago, it was way too simple, way too basic. If people don't like basic things or basic English, why she has so many of subscribers? It means people like basic things. That is a clear example in front of us. What is the next thing you said? I don't know. Or you yourself set a criteria that if a person is speaking without mistake, or like you said at the end of your finishing line that yes, the people should be good to explain. You admit that self um, at the later stage. Yeah. So this is what I want to say.
With due respect, I agree with your every single statement, whatever you have just stated now, with some of my little disagreement. In my
Mhm.
first phase, when I said for an intermediate speaker, an advanced speaker is a good speaker, I was not actually telling my perspective at that point of time. I was just telling from his perspective, his way of view, what he thinks about that advanced speaker of English. So the time I was not talking about me, I was talking about him.
I
He
was also
will
not talking
definitely
about
gonna.
you.
Mhm.
I was also not talking about you. I was talking about in general. Why would we consider always the advanced speaker as a good speaker? Many advanced speakers are there on YouTube, but we don't like to watch them just because they are not easy to understand. They don't feel, they don't give us that comfortable level which we get from the intermediate person. So it's very natural. But your voice is
Wow.
cracking. Your network has some issue today. So this video might not record well if you will not sort it out.
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Ma'am, what about now? Is it okay
I can't see you now.
now?
I can't see you.
God. Wait, let me switch.
Is there any network issue?
No, ma'am, I don't have any network issue. I don't know why is it happening. Is it okay now? Am I visible and audible?
You're visible and audible, but sometimes your speech or voice comes later and your lip sync comes before. Like this has something happened today. I don't know why.
Okay, let's finish it as soon as we can do it, and then we see if you think that you can upload it also. Okay, if not, so
Yes, I know I
again.
can upload. It's not that much. I might upload with a little editing. That's not a problem. But now I think it's fine. You've changed your place.
No, I haven't changed my place. I've just done something. Okay, let me. Okay, where I was saying that okay, that's fine, totally. And yes, yours on your second phase, you said like it all depend on the audience with whom you are interacting, with whom you are talking. I think they would decide to whom they consider as a good speaker of English. But you know what? The funniest thing here, which we have been discussing with each other, though we know very well that simplicity is the best asset for anyone. But again, why people are running behind accent? They want to intensify their vocabulary. They want to use more and more advanced vocabulary they are learning. Then I hope you have seen some of groups. They have been discussing phrasal verbs, then idioms, and I've seen many people. They are trying to imitate native speaker. They want to sound like a native speaker. If simplicity is something that one good speaker has to carry himself, then what are these things? Why people are running behind all this stuff?
Okay, I have a great answer for that. See, the number of people are very less who are looking for vocabulary, advanced phrases, idioms. I connect, like, I have been communicating with people from last 2 years. I rarely come these kinds of people who want to learn accent, who want to learn idioms and phrases. Yeah, vocabulary is something that everyone wants to improve because they sound nice while speaking. Not only nice, actually, vocabulary required so that you can make your speech precise. If you do not have the correct word to speak on a correct place, you end up speaking a lot of extra things which is not even required. That is why vocabulary is important. But if you talk about the idioms and phrases and many other things, not everyone is running after them. Only the people who want to make their career in the same field, they might be interested. For example, I want to learn all those things because I am thinking of to master this language so that I can provide tuition or teaching purpose. That is my reason that I'm learning. But like 1 year ago, I had no intention of this, and I was not actually running after vocabularies and all. I used to speak very basic English, very simple English, and I was very much satisfied with that. There was no intention. And even now, if you will compare in the YouTube community and is this particular English niche, you will find the number of those people are very less. It's not that much. If you're like talking about 100, only 10 or 12 people want to master all those things, but rest of the 80 people, they want to speak nice English. When they speak, people should understand, and they are also able to express themselves effortlessly. They don't need to think much about vocabulary or other thing, and they don't want to use many filler words. That is one thing. So I think I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you have elaborated it so well. I'm totally awestruck. But again, one more thing that suddenly came to my mind. We know all the facts we have discussed. Everything has concluded yet. But again, okay, I'm just sharing my personal experience with you, okay? If there are two speakers, one a simple speaker like you, another one is an advanced speaker, anyone, I cannot take a name.
Like
But
you can take your name. You are also an advanced speaker. You can
no,
take
I'm
your
not.
name.
That's not taking my name. I'm not taking my name, and because I'm not an advanced speaker, I'm just at below than intermediate. Okay. So what happened, ma'am? When you will listen to a simple speaker, for example, when you are speaking, people will listen to you, and they will get good vibes from your side. They can make a rapport with you because your simplicity is your quality, right? Again, when someone will, when people will listen to that advanced speaker, then they will totally flabbergasted. Wow, look at his accent. Wow, the way he is speaking, his voice modulation, his intonation, his like vocabulary, advanced vocabulary. In fact, many of them cannot even understand what exactly he's saying just because he is using some advanced vocabulary. And sometimes you know very well, accent itself is the biggest barrier in order to communicate with people. For example, if he will use a British or American accent, people who are listening to him may not understand because they are not acquainted with that accent. But again, if you are going to vote there at that place, to whom you like most out of you, like you and that guy, right? I can bet you that guy will get maximum support and he'll get maximum votes. Do you agree with it or you just disagree? And with logical reason.
Tell me logical reason why people, this is your opinion. You said that people will like it. How do you know that people will like that person who is speaking with accent instead of the person who is speaking basic English? How can you say that?
Because because I have been using plenty of online applications, for example, Hello, then Hello Talk, then Isfancy, then Iriswata, then Joe Talk, Clubhouse, Open Talk, and so many. All right. This thing I have observed personally and I experienced. Whenever I've asked them, okay, to whom you consider a good speaker on this application, most of the time they take the name of that guy who has a very good accent. In fact, the guy himself is from India, but just because he has adopted that foreign accent and he used some advanced vocabulary. Okay, again, his voice modulation is superb. Like when you would listen to him, you would consider him as a voiceover artist. That kind of deep voice, or I hope you understand, right? So that's what I'm asking to you. And from there only, this question came to my mind because last night I was talking to someone on Hello Talk, and I have asked them because yeah, I have asked that girl to whom you consider a good speaker, and she took the name that I whom I consider he is not even understandable to me. How badly or in a very worse way he was speaking, frankly. And then I have raised question in front of you.
See, I think this is all about when people they don't know anything, they start feeling that somebody is speaking with accent. They feel like, oh my god, he's something very big. He's speaking such a nice way, and because they can't speak in like them. That is the only reason they admire them a lot. But you know what? It is same like we are living in India, but Indian girls they are just living their culture and adopting foreign culture in terms of clothing, fashion, and all. And the foreigners they are trying to learn our culture, they are wearing saris and exploring those things. So similarly, like we are more into the other people accents instead of Indian accent. But what I feel is there is no problem at all with Indian accent. It sounds really beautiful and very understandable if I compare it with the British and American accent. If you will watch, even if you will watch any video on YouTube from American or British people, and then you are going to watch any single video from Indian people, 100% I'm telling you that you are going to understand that Indian accent a lot, because you have you born and brought up here in India. You have listening to this accent from so long and you are very much habitual. But that is the problem. Like people sometimes admire that thing which they cannot achieve. So that might be one reason. Even I am not sure what can be the reason of this. So let it up to the audience, the people who are watching us. They can comment us that what kind of accent they would like to listen, Indian or another accent. So let's count the vote, how many people are with the Indian accent and how many people vote for the foreign accent or other accents.
I know, ma'am. You
Yeah.
have Indian accent, audience is your, channel is your, and almost video is your. And it's all about simplicity because those who are listening to you, maximum the people are from India, and definitely they would love to hear Indian accent, not only
That's
American or
the
British
question
accent.
is. That's what your question is. What, like you were talking about the Indian people, and I answered you that Indian people most of the time they like Indian accent. And if you will talk about the people who love another accent, they might be from not they might not from India. For example, there are English channels, and their audience is from their side. So obviously they're going to like their accent most because that is more comfortable to them. So okay, if yours, I can understand that your accent is absolutely different from mine. It's not sounding like an Indian accent. You can post this video on your channel and you can ask opinion with your own subscribers. They might favor in you because you feel that like you are saying that Indian people like different accents, not the Indian accent. So you can post this video on your channel. You can ask for the viewers what's their opinion.
Well, that's unfortunate stuff I have in my way of speaking because I am somewhere lies between Indian and then American and I don't even know British. My accent is khichdi of all three accents, like
Yeah.
mixture. That's why it's just because you started learning English in a very simple way, along with Indian speakers, all right? In my case, I started learning this language with native speaker of English, and I think you better know. No matter how harder you are trying, but your environment, your surrounding, definitely going to affect your personality and behavior. So I got an influence of their accent on my spoken English. I'm trying my best to neutralize it, but again, you know what? It's very easy to acquire and adopt bad thing but that difficult to detach those stuff from our personality. It will take some time. It's easy to learn something new, but that much difficult to revise or to correct if you have learned something wrong. Right? So let's see how it goes.
I think accent is all about the individual choice. You may like Indian accent, I may like foreign accent. It's like total individual choice what kind of accent we would like to listen. We cannot pressurize someone that if we are from India, we should love only Indian accent. But what I have observed, that what I have said, that people I have seen in India, most of the people they like to listen Indian accent as compared to the American and British. But again, it's a individual choice because time has been changing very rapidly, and people are more into the stuff which is coming out of India. So maybe people are liking the foreign accent more as compared to the Indian one. But again, it's a personal choice. There's no restriction. You can use any accent you want, you like, and there's nothing wrong or bad about it.
True. At the end of the day, what matters? Understanding. If people can
Exactly.
understand you, no matter which accent you are following, it's all okay. And I think I can just conclude whatever you have said from throughout the conversation that simplicity is a good thing. Just go for a very simple and basic vocab. Try to make the conversation quite simple, as simple you can make it. And again, I just love to add 3 points. Whenever you speak, take proper pauses, speak slowly, don't run like a Satabdi Express or a Butler train, otherwise, people cannot understand you. And if you have these traits inside you when you speak English, I think you are a good speaker. Then we no need to, evaluate ourselves. We don't need anyone's validation in order to check whether we are or not. That's what I can say.
Yeah, that's true. That's so. I think at this good note, we have to wind up the session. It's already half an hour. And thank you for joining.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for inviting me, and it was really lovely talking to you always. So looking forward to have another remarkable conversation ahead. See you around.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.